What is up, guys? I'm back yet again with another one. I want to wish you all a happy new year and a prosperous 2025. In this video, I share some nuggets on how I conduct my speculation. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Please note, any information herein is not intended, nor does it constitute financial, tax, legal, investment, or any other advice. Okay, so looking at V50 right now, so the market has been pushing to the upside. This is the daily time frame that I'm currently on. And what you'll notice is that on the daily time frame, in terms of market structure, there was this high here, this orange block. This is definitely a high. You know, for all these days, the market was failing to break. And then we finally broke. And what is evident is that we have actually formed this higher high, this scenario over here. So now because of that, you know, my key point of interest is actually at these lows, all right? If you go to the line graph, you realize that there's actually a low there. So a reason why I think that is such a strong low is also the fact that, you know, when looking at lines of sensitivities, you can see in the past, the market came there and sat and bought, all right? Even over here, you can see this area was like a form of support, okay? And another thing is this area was also like a resistance, you know? So it is such a good zone. It is such a good zone. It's just that the momentum is somewhat very much bullish, and it almost seems they're not trying to drive the market there right now. But that does not mean, once again, we chase the market. We have to exercise super patience. So I'm choosing to be patient unless, you know, we keep getting structure breaks. So what do I mean by we keep getting structure breaks? So right now, of course, as I've mentioned, this is a high in its own right, what's happening over here. So I would want something significant, right, to break this area, like a nice break and close above, something like this. And then what that will mean is that this is the new low, okay, that we would want the market to retrace into. Why would that be the new low? Once again, if you go to the line graph on the daily time frame, you'll see that this area in itself is actually a low. So all you need to do is like a draw, like somewhat a zone that encompasses that. So that wouldn't really be a bad low, because if I'm to use these two lines here as a zone, you can see also in the past, the market has gotten there and actually bought from in there. But remember, principle is principle. It literally has to break the structures first. Without that break of structure, we really can't do much, and we are forced to literally wait at that zone we have been waiting. Once again, I really favor that zone, because you can see from that demand that pushed the market up like that, you know, the market has not retested there, right? So the likelihood of that demand or the likelihood of there being still demand there is very high. You know, when we say in trading, there's some setups that we almost know will pay, but it just hurts to wait for them for so long. You know what I mean? And it can be very much annoying. So just moving over to the H4 time frame, this is what everything looks like, right? I know some people always ask me, why is it that you draw your order blocks in a funny way? It's because, you know, you can't just concentrate on one time frame when drawing a key point of interest. Now, because I favor the higher time frames a lot, and once again, on the daily time frame, this is the low. By the time we get to the H4, you realize that the zone looks like this. So a person might wonder, what makes you come to zones like this, all right? So that's currently it right now. I'm basically in waiting, and I would definitely want for, once again, a nice structure break, and then the low becomes this, where I'll be waiting for the market to come into, and then we can see if we can push some buy positions. It would really not be a bad idea, because even in terms of just looking at what the market is currently doing, one could actually formulate what we could call like the bottom of the channel in something like this, right? Especially if it breaks, right, and then comes back, right? You are, in terms of speculation, this could also be a channel touch as we push to the upside. And, you know, another person might be wondering, why is it that, you know, you really want to look for buys in this market? I'll explain to you when I go to the higher time frames quickly. And, you know, it's important to know when the market is tradable and when it's not tradable. And, you know, a big chunk of that knowledge comes from back testing. So now this is the 4-hour time frame, right? So I just want to show you why, for instance, Today, there's absolutely no trades on this instrument unless you're just to a certain extent gambling. So this is 4, 8, 12. This is like 20 hours the market has been just here. So on what basis could you have placed a trade today? The market is just consolidating there. If you go to the M15, which is dangerous, which is where most people trade, maybe someone called a sell, someone called a buy, but you don't have a clear inclination of what you're trying to do. This is why we step out of stuff like this and we just have to wait for the market to come back. And then, of course, in talking about why we're favoring buys in a market, why do we want to buy? If we head over to the higher time frames, you can see on the weekly time frame, for instance, right? I'm just going to clear everything right now because we've discussed where the key point of interest is and all that. But we want to look at what's happening on the weekly time frame. We have this weekly order block and price moved all the way up there and we came back and we've been buying from there, right? So one can say that this was a low and the market came and formed a higher low here. So the momentum is to the upside. And even if you look at just segregate the past 3 weeks of trading, or should I say 4 weeks, the market has just been buying. What we have been finding as a challenge is how to join the buy market, right? In a conducive way, sorry, so that we can also join. So that is it for V50. You have the zone, and as mentioned, if there are any structure breaks out before. Okay, so here we are, guys, with the result of the speculation. So remember, this was our zone on the daily time frame. We are on the daily time frame. We picked up this low because we had that break of structure, and the market literally came back and tapped into that low and pushed all the way to the upside. Now look in terms of pips and in terms of distance traveled, if this is the daily time frame, how much a movement like this could have obviously gained on an account. And the same applies for why we had picked up the zone. If you can remember, we had that past demand as well, and the current market structure that presented itself along with the higher time frame momentum from the monthly and the weekly. Cool. So now looking at V25 1S, the market has been pushing down. This is the H4 time frame, but quickly, I want to see what's happening. Now, this is the weekly. You can see a nice push to the downside, but we're now chartering scary waters, if I can say that. Reason is that in terms of market structure, we're now coming to this low. It's very dangerous, right? Because now, if we look at this high and we have a higher high and we have a low, it is likely that we could get a bounce and then the market structure continues. And we're close to there. So, one needs to be really careful. If one wants to continue selling this, I would say rather mark the low so that you know your playground. Okay. So I'm going to have two lines like this. And the minute the market touches that top line, for me, it wouldn't be something I want to sell for now. All right. Just need to wait. So because this is the weekly time frame, there might be some room for something. Let's head over to the daily. Yes, once again, all these days we've been selling, would obviously need to investigate how we can join this sell. So quickly, I'm just going to draw up some lines to check if there's areas in the past that has shown some supply side sensitivity. So I'm putting it right here, okay, in relation to where price currently is. So I know someone is probably wondering, why have you put that line there? But it's that thing about being observant. You see over here, this is the daily time frame. In the past, what happened? We got there and we sold. We got there and we saw over here, this line acted as support, all those good things, nice and reactive line. Is there anything from this side? I would have to check. Let's see. Nothing, but it's fine. All those touches are good enough. So with this weekly momentum, it would be very nice if we can breathe into there, right? Once again, it would be nice. Let's go to the H4 time frame. And this is what we have. Funny enough, it seems the market has already tapped into that and is selling from that. As you can see, there's some form of reaction from there. Let's go to the H1 and let's see exactly. So the market seems to have tapped into there. So that makes everything so tricky in the sense that we don't have leeway now for the market to essentially, we would want to get in before we touch the green line. So this is one of those setups that we might need to just wait and probably not get into. And in terms of the long run, if by God's grace, the market can come into here, oh, that would be such a good trade. Because even looking at what has been happening from the past, you can see over here, it's a nice high, impulsive movement to the downside, right? We broke these structures over here, right here,
and we came back into those highs. So the same can be said for here. Nice high, push to the downside. We're breaking these structures. So it would be very nice, right? Not saying that it will happen because our green line is here, unfortunately for this one. But if it so happens that the market can come back in there without touching, or even if it touches the green line, here's the thing. I would probably enter, but for a scalp. So if it has touched the green line, I'm not holding the trade for long because I'll be expecting that the market could probably bounce and then break that thing. So I would want to scalp first instance. So what I'll do for V251S right now is to actually create a zone where I'll be looking to take a trade from. It's actually such a beautiful zone in terms of, just the principles of trading. Um, why? Why is it a good zone? We'll talk about it right now. Let's just mark it up nicely, right? So once again, strong supply, break of these structures, also an X level of support over here. Very strong. Let's go to the H1, see what's there. Exactly. Nice supply coming out of there. You might want to probably adjust. Remember, that's the thing as well. The more you adjust as you go down to the lower time frames, yeah, you could miss the trade. But remember what I said about trading from where there's an aggressive movement. So right now, this is the H1 time frame. You can see there's strong aggression from there. So it would be a really nice zone. And if the market can come into there, it's an area one should be interested in. Okay, now looking at the result for the speculation for V251S. This is the weekly time frame. If you remember correctly, we said that the market was approaching this low. The market was somewhere around here, and it was indeed approaching the low. And we did say that once it gets to this low, it is really highly likely that it will fail to break and it will push to the upside. Reason was just that there was clear upward market structure where we have a high over here and we have a higher high. That obviously leaves us with a low and an expectation that will print a higher low somewhere around here. And that's exactly what happened. And the market pushed up. And mind you, this is all on the weekly time frame. Okay, so this is why I'm emphasizing a lot on speculation, being able to pick up a speculation, analyze your charts, do your top-down analysis, and then you want to mark them up, mark the charts up and see how the market moves when it really comes into your zones. This right here, in essence, is actually a back test. This is how you improve. This is how you catch better moves in future. And you just stay abreast of things. If you like what you see, feel free to contact me for the list of my services. 2025, we have to do it very big. Thank you. Ciao.